I'm Dan, I'm the Online Safety Officer that works in Lincolnshire. I'm just here to borrow a few minutes of your time to talk about an issue that we're experiencing amongst some children and young people in Lincolnshire, and to explain to you, as parents and carers, what you can do to keep your child safe, well, and within the confines of the law. Now, what we are finding in Lincolnshire is a rise in the number of young people that are getting prosecuted under the Malicious Communications Act. Now, this law has been around for a really long time, like the best part of 25 years. So it's not a new bit of legislation. But what this law says is that if an individual is using technology in a way that is designed to cause anxiety or distress, so if they are sending death threats or threats to harm, threats to commit criminal damage, if they are using it in a way that could be classed as harassment or stalking, if they are using false social media profiles to spread fake rumours or target individuals, if they are posting things that are grossly offensive, then it could be criminal in nature. These are some of the things that we are finding students may see on a daily basis, but we also know that there are a number of students in Lincolnshire that are displaying these behaviours online. Now, while the law says a maximum 2-year prison sentence, an unlimited fine, and obviously a criminal record, we're not here to criminalise your children. And we do go into schools to talk about this behaviour to make sure that they have all the information they need to make the best possible choices online. So, what we want our children to think about is how they interact and respond to people and whether their online behaviour mirrors the way that they behave in the real world. Because ultimately, that is what this law is about. It's ensuring that everybody gets the best possible time out of the internet and that it is not being used in a way that is going to cause anxiety or distress. So, what can we do as parents and carers? Well, I think one of the best things we can do is to start having conversations about some really simple things. Now, while the majority of children in Lincolnshire will use technology in a really, really positive way, it might not be people at school that are causing them distress. It might be other individuals. So what we need to do is teach our children a way to manage online conflict. Things like not responding to an individual sounds really, really simple, but in practice, it can be really difficult, especially because the things that may be said to them could be quite emotive. It could make them quite frustrated or angry or upset. And sometimes when we experience those emotions, we know as adults, it can be really difficult to control it. Teaching our kids that it is okay not to respond to an individual is absolutely brilliant, but there are ways that they can manage the interactions they have online through things like blocking and reporting. By blocking an individual, they won't need to listen to anything they say anymore. And if they report an individual, it then becomes the problem of the social network, of social media, to actually manage that person's behaviour. Reporting does work, but we don't always see the outcome, which is why some young people are a little bit reluctant to do it. One other thing that we can do, especially through things like group chats, which can be really, really positive, is to ensure that we mute the chats through the evening, or we just mute a chat that we don't really want to be part of. While the messages are still going to come through, we're not going to get the notifications, and sometimes that can actually take some of our stress levels down a notch. The sad thing we do find, though, is 1 in every 5 students in Lincolnshire have experienced online bullying, but we also know that 2 out of every 3 secondary students knows who their bully is. So what we need to do as parents and carers is make sure that we're aware and that our children are aware of the impact of their online behaviours and interactions. And consider it this way. How would we feel if our grandma were to see some of the things that we're posting? How would we feel if our social media posts were stuck on the front page of a newspaper or shared by a news site? How would we feel if members of staff at school, aunties and uncles, family members, parents and carers were to see the things that we're posting? But more importantly, in a few years' time, how would we feel if we went for an interview for a job and the person opposite us had seen the kind of things that we were posting online? Now, we do talk a lot about the grandma rule, and we do know that 7 out of every 10 employers will check social media before they make a decision on whether a person has got a job. So even within the law, it's really important to consider what our digital footprint looks like. So what I want everybody to start having conversations around the way that we choose to interact, to ensure that our online behaviour is the same as our real world behaviour, but to ensure that our children know that they can come and talk to us if they see anything that they are unsure how to respond, anything that is making them stressed or anxious, or anything that they are worrying about. If you feel that some of the messages your children are receiving may hit that criminal threshold, then it's really important to get in touch with Lincolnshire Police. You can do that through the Forces communication line, which is 101. Obviously, if you feel that your child is in immediate danger, immediate risk of harm, then that is why 999 exists. But you know what? I think that most children that we meet sometimes just get caught up in the experience of being online. And sometimes they just need that reminder because their influences, the way other people respond, can just kind of have an impact on the way that they choose to respond. So, make sure that we're having conversations with our children about online the same way we have at school, and make sure that we are showcasing the best of the internet. Thank you very much for listening.